My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today it's our last episode of the year.
Oh, yes.
Woo!
So crazy.
It's been a while, you know, it's been a year. So we would like to do like little drama awards. So that's what we're gonna do. We have categories. We've all picked our winners, but really everyone is a winner in our hearts. And if you would like to reach out to us on Twitter to let us know who you would have voted for, please do. Or even better, go on our Discord and tell us. We love it. We want to hear what you liked.
And just so you know, we're each going to give our winners. Like, we're not going to then battle it out.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
There are 4 winners in every category. It's
the only
really
way we
great.
Maybe there might be fewer than that.
Is like, I guess
True.
maybe we could just keep on asking Siri for a random number between 4, and whoever she picks is the winner for each of the categories. But that's too much.
The winner is.
that seems a bit much. I feel like we can just agree that they're all great in their own ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And whoever
we don't
you would pick is also great.
True.
No hate to anyone who doesn't get nominated, but they're all great in our hearts. We have 3 sections. Okay. We have our drama awards, we have our music awards, and then we have our Daesangs, the grand prize of
Top of the top.
We pick our drama of the year and our song of the years. Forward to that, and then there'll be a little outro section where we talk about things we want to see in the New Year stuff, personal goals, that sort of thing. So stick around for that. But first, we're going to start with a drama awards. Our first award is who we thought really killed it this year in the actor. And we decided to add a little bit of a difficulty level to it because we decided we can only pick someone who's older than us for the actor and actress awards.
Yeah.
So
we really challenged ourselves.
yeah, this was a challenge.
Big challenge for old Amanda here.
Yeah, we are not young spring chickens, as it were. So who would like to go first for who they picked for best actor of the year?
Well, I was going to pick Kim Tae-hoon, but he is born before me in the same year, so sorry.
Like, you're so news, it's fine.
But
You could have cheated.
I'm going with Park In-hwan, who was the ballet dancing grandpa in Navalera.
Nice.
Because fantastic.
He was great.
I mean, we also just watched him in Miss Granny, and he was about the only watchable part of that movie. So
you know what? You're right. You are correct on that.
Well done, sir. I would just.
He was holding that movie down. It was all over the place, but he was there.
He was holding that movie
getting it
together.
done. And he looked very attractive in the very end. But
if you haven't seen Miss Granny, I don't want to ruin it for you, but on that last scene, I literally sat up and said, no, unacceptable. And then I closed my laptop and walked away.
That was literally the first time I laughed out loud through the whole movie. But
that was the best piece of comedy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I chose Shin Ha-kyun from Beyond Evil. He was the, obviously the older detective because the younger one's too young.
Way.
When he's not my age. But yeah, he was just so good at it. He just you didn't know, the entire time you didn't know what was going on and what was happening. And he just solidified that role in just making it to it was not even a morally gray character. It was just ambiguously, you don't know what's going to happen next. And his performance in it was just phenomenal. I know he's been an actor for a very long time and he's really great, but I just thought in that role, it was perfect.
Nice. For me, I had a hard time, but I was helped out. Jessie helped me pick someone because she was like, you really like this guy. And that would be Park Hae-soo, who played, the disgraced businessman in Squid Game, but he's also in Prison Playbook and in a ton of other things.
It's on Chimera right now.
Yeah, he's on Chimera right now, and he's going to be in the remake of Money Heist.
Yeah, that's right.
He's going to be the lead in that. So look out for that coming next year, he's handsome, he's talented. I don't know, like he played a morally terrible, ambiguously terrible character really well. Really,
I agree.
like really well. Like he was probably that character shouldn't have been as relatable as it was. That's all I'm gonna say with the choices he made. But yeah, he was great. He was great.
Mine, I actually have had this actor has caught my eye before in Goblin. He was the secretary in Goblin. So he's Jo Woo-jin. In Happiness, he's Han Tae-suk.
Oh,
and
so good.
He's pretty much the third lead of the show. He's also played another assistant character. So it's just so interesting that like pretty much the secretary typecasted person. And then as far as in Happiness, he just has a very powerful character, but at the same time, it's very grounded. He just does a very, very good job. And he also has like difficult choices to make and stuff. So it's just really,
he's really good in that.
Yeah,
he hit all the notes very, very well.
So same rules apply for our actress of the year. Okay, who they got to be older than you. So Amanda, who'd you pick?
I don't know. I forgot about that. I remember the age rule with the actor, but not with the actress.
Here, I can start.
Pretty sure this actress
we'll go
is not
backwards.
older
Yeah,
than
we'll
me.
go backwards.
We'll go reverse.
We'll go in reverse.
Which the thing is, some of the older, very, very well-known actresses, like it's possible that we're all gonna like not we're not all gonna say the same person by any means.
but we might.
Sometimes they have a really good impression on some of these shows. So for my best Ahjumma, which is what we had written down in our thing, I pick Kim Hae-suk from Hospital Playlist 2. She is Jungwon's mom, and like, okay, there's a bazillion and a half storylines in that show, but the fact that she holds down her own storyline of aging gracefully and dealing with the fear of what that can sometimes mean, but also being very playful with her buddy and stuff, like it just it was very fun, but at the same time, like they definitely covered some ground there with like very relatable things, and she's just great. I mean, in anything, she's always great.
She's also currently an Inspector Coup and killing it.
Yeah,
she is killing it.
She's so good.
She's so disturbing and awesome, and
love
it. Love it.
For me, I love a good villainous character, and I'm gonna have to go with Kim Yo-jin, who played the prosecutor turned incredibly dirty lawyer in Vincenzo.
That's good.
Whoa,
she was so good.
She's so good in that. Like, she's wild. She was wild in the whole show. That show just it's one of my top of the year, but she was incredible in it. Like, so good. So good.
So I picked someone who's not that much older than me. Our rules were to be older. And that's Jang No-ra in Sell Your Haunted House. Because I thought she did
so good.
fabulous in that role. Like, I haven't seen her in a lot of other roles, especially because she normally picks roles that just I'm not going to be interested in the drama. But she is just phenomenal in this. And I just loved every second of it. She was just able to pull it off into a different actor for me. Like, I have never seen her do that kind of character before. I'm not saying she hasn't, because I don't know, but she was just so good in it, and I just loved it.
All right.
Did you find
my
one?
first choice is definitely too young. She's only 34, so I'm also going to go with somebody who's in Inspector Coup right now, but that playing Inspector Coup, Kim Young-ae. She's 50. She's fabulous. She's really good in this. I mean, she's playing the same character, but there's a lot of flashbacks, and she was a very different person in the past than she is now. So you get to see a lot of variety from her, and there's like comedy in the show, but there's also like dark moments, and just there's a lot of emotional stuff going on with her character, and she portrays it well, I think. But she also hits the comedic moments really well too. So
thanks. So now we're on to our best supporting secondary character or actress or whatever, actor. No gender, no age.
I
Who you
guess
thought killed it as a
you could
secondary
have said
character?
a pet too, I guess.
Listen,
mean-
we're not speciest here. Like we got it all. So Amanda, who did you pick for your best secondary character?
Well, this is where I moved Kim Tae-hoon to. So his character in Navalera, I mean, he is a side character, but he's a very important character. And I love Kim Tae-hoon, like a lot. And he does mostly movies, so he's not in Dramaland very often. And when he is, he tends to either be evil or dying. So it was nice.
Guys, he plays it well.
Watch
Plays
him be
it well.
pleasant, be a normal, dude going
Listen,
through his life.
To be fair, when he is playing terminally ill people, he's usually pretty pleasant as well.
Well,
There's
this
just,
is true.
there's a
He's either
definite time
evil or
clock
he's
on
nice
him.
and dying. So, and he, again, character that had some depth to it, despite being a sort of background character or side character. There was a lot of story for him, and he did a good job with it.
What about you, Jesse?
Okay. So I decided for this one that I was also going to keep up with the like older than me thing, just as like as a fun little thing. And so I decided Bae Hae-sun from Happiness was going to be my pick. She's the one who's the head of the like committee and, one of the rich people who goes insane because they lose their power. And she is so good during that entire show. She just encapsulates that entitled, privileged female who has a temper tantrum the entire time and is also like evil and continuously is that way. She never actually
never learns.
She may have like a facade at times. From the very beginning, she is the way that she is. So
very believable. It's not over the top.
Yeah.
It's like you watch it and you go, I've met that person.
Yeah, and like she's already at a certain point where you're like, I hate her, but like her like progression and the way that she like subtly moves up her character with every episode as the tension like builds and stuff. It's just so good.
I too went with someone from Happiness, but I went in the complete opposite direction of Jesse because I went with actress Song Ji-woo, who played the little girl.
She was so good
because she was so good, and like she's got quite a filmography under her 9-year-old belt. Okay, she was in The Uncanny Counter. She was in Record of Youth. She was in Itaewon Class. She was in Life. She was in everything, okay? And like she started in like 2017 and has not stopped. And she is so cute, but was so good.
And she got a lot of screen time in Happy.
Yeah, she was a big secondary character of Happiness. And just want to pinch her little cheekies. She's so cute.
I agree. It's a good choice.
Like, to be honest, the entire secondary cast of Happiness
like
was fucking incredible, but like she was really good.
Yeah.
What about you, Sky?
So I picked, and I will say this drama straddled 2020 and 2021, but it did end in February 2021.
If it ends, that's how I count it, because if there was no way to physically watch it in 2020, then it shouldn't be counted as a 2020 drama.
Agreed.
Yeah. So to say that, it's True Beauty.
Okay.
Secondary character. The character's name is Kang Soo-jin. The actress is Park Yoo-na, and she is great in everything that she ever does. I don't typically say this, but I will say, if she ever wants a lead role, I would like to see her in a lead role sometime because she would kill it. Like, she just her character in True Beauty, just very faceted, and there's betrayal that happens that is all centered, she causes it, and she does kind of have a redemption arc, but it's not unbelievable, and it's not, she doesn't expect forgiveness necessarily. So like it's just very well done. And yes, there's lots of drama in the show, but as far as her character kind of is the one that spurs a lot of that on because of the choices that she makes. So her character made the show much more interesting. And even seeing the difference between how the character was portrayed in the webtoon, and then how they they fleshed out her character way more and gave her much more of a better, like a more believable personality, and she just brought that to the screen really
nice.
Well. So
yeah,
it would be a totally different drama without a really good actress in that role. Like she was able to sell it really well.
So next category, we have a dark horse category. It's what show did you watch this year? Your favorite show that you watched this year that was made before 2021. What was your best pre-2021
This
show?
was tough because I did not watch a lot of.
I did not either.
Not
In fact,
things.
I could only find a single show.
Oh, wow. I put
So
it up
I
there
was-
because I thought that like maybe, you know, because there are some years where like, you know,
Yeah, there's
a lot
some
of us
years
don't
it's
watch
like-
a lot of airing. And I was like,
Yeah.
I want like maybe we should like switch it up a bit so that like everybody has the thing. But that's
Like
interesting.
last year I think I watched, you know, like a
Yeah,
handful.
I did too.
Oh, I watched a ton this year. Like that for me, it was like, oh no, which one of these great things do I choose? Like
That was not the case for old Natalia. So I watched a single show. So that was the show
So
I
that's
picked.
it.
It was okay. It was okay, I'll go then. I watched finally, and this is gonna like really affect my like Thai BL watching cred. Okay. I finally watched Dark Blue Kiss.
all right.
And it was fine. I'm gonna be honest. There's like two main storylines, and there's like the main characters, and then the secondary storyline way better than the main storyline. But let me tell you, that friggin' opening credit sequence, damn! It has the most dramatic music for like no drama in the show. Like the opening credit theme is so wild that it gets memed so much.
It's very like Young and the Restless or something. Like it has that like, you know,
It's like
daytime
high speed,
soap.
like
Here's all the characters.
they're
and
all
it's
like
very...
so it's like this dramatic violin music playing, and then like all these characters like emerge from behind like blue curtains, like and it's just like, okay, let's just calm down. This is made by GMMTV. It ain't that good. Calm down.
Did they kind of pull like a Dream Night as far as like selling
well,
something in the credits that is not in the show?
No, not even, because like the credits, like it's not like they were good. They were just dramatic. Like Dream Nights sold you a bill of goods in that opening credit sequence where you thought you were about to watch the wildest fantasy epic you've ever seen, for it to be a low budget, like dance-based doll fantasy. like this had like the vibe of the opening credits, but they were just a little too over the top musically for what you were given. But yeah, it was okay. It was fine. Was it the best?
But it was your
BL?
one. It was your one pre-2021 show.
It was my one, the only one I could think of. Like I was like looking through my list, and I was like, did I only watch like airing stuff? Like what's going on? Like there was a lot of airing stuff. Like there's a lot of Thai shows that came out this year that I watched.
That's true. There's a
And
lot
there's
of
a lot of
Thai.
Japanese shows I watched. So there was like I watched a lot of Chinese shows, and they're always like 50 episodes, right? Yeah, this was the one that I could remember. Like, oh yeah, I did watch that this year. So
I'll piggyback off of Natalia, since like I think it's pretty much my one that I watched. Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
all right.
We did a Kingdom episode, but
we
so,
did.
yeah,
You
I
should
watched
check it out
Kingdom.
if you haven't already.
Yeah, and I did. I really did enjoy Kingdom, and this was also the year I recommended that my husband watch it. He really enjoyed it as well. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, which it's
Cool.
crazy to think that was a couple of years ago now, but it
I
was.
know.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, we were a podcast when that came out.
Yeah.
Like
That's true,
that
we
wasn't
were.
that long ago, but it wasn't. We've been we're not new.
We ain't young here. Nope.
Nope, we ain't no spring chickens. Let's just say that.
I guess I can go next. Or
Yeah,
we wanna-
go. No, go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna pick one that actually came out last year, but I'm pretty sure it came out literally like when a job was going away. So I didn't watch a lot of dramas at that time. So I missed it.
Understandably.
And then I was like, I'm
Understandably.
gonna pick it up this year, and I like loved it. and that's the drama Memorist. It's a crime thriller with a little bit of like sci-fi kind of fantasy element, just because of what the main character can do. But I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the cast and I had a lot of fun with it. And I also thought it was like a fun crime thriller. I just felt that it just kind of came together as something like that I just generally liked. And I just had fun with the show. And so I think that's why like it brought my rating up so high, because I just had fun with it. And it was a nice little binge. So
nice.
Nice.
Mine was one that was highly recommended by Jesse, Pretty Proofreader. So I watched Pretty Proofreader this year and I loved it so much.
That's so
like,
good.
It's such a good show.
It's
and
such a nice show.
It really is.
That's a Japanese one, correct?
It's a Japanese one.
It has Satomi Ishihara in it, who was the lead in 9 to 5.
Yeah. So she was my original choice for Best Actress for the year, but she is significantly younger than I. So but yeah, like she's a delight. And like I'm watching her in 9 to 5 or 5 to 9 now, and it's not a great drama. Like it's cute. It's a cute rom-com, right? But she makes it better. She elevates it.
She does. Yeah. She does.
So, and I think probably like Pretty Proofreader has a great plot and a great story is being told. But I think in the hands of a different actress, it might have come across a lot differently, because her character is kind of like comes across kind of like spoiled-ish or something in the beginning, but like she doesn't annoy you. She doesn't, and she grows, and it's really well done.
I just realized
characters like that.
I just realized that the drama 5 to 9 came out in 2015, and I also watched that this year. So I guess I do. And I will say I did enjoy that one slightly more.
You didn't have any like hints on the styling and costumes that it was.
No, it's not that. It's not that I didn't recognize that it was an early.
You just forgot. Okay.
I forgot that I watched it. This wasn't a purposeful.
I was like, that is not 2021 vibes.
No, it is not.
No, but she's good. She's good at that. Doing like taking a character who's kind of like the rom-com character and giving it a lot of heart, kind of like how. What's her face does for Legally Blonde, where it could go away, but like she gives a lot of heart, even though it could be, a little bit flightier of a character, or like supposed to be like a little bit too like gimmicky, comicky.
What about you, Jesse?
She went before me.
Oh, wait.
Did she? Oh my God.
Memorist.
Jesus Christ.
You didn't remember the Memorist.
She's drunk too much soju.
Oh God.
Natalia and I are on our soju drinking, so let's see how we fare.
This is early in the recording. Yeah.
Okay, taking a little break. No, sorry about that. Sorry about that, everyone. Woo. Okay. Our next category is, what's the show that you meant to watch but didn't get around to from this year?
I was really looking forward to Dolly and the Cocky Prince. All those posters they put out beforehand, all the everything about this, I was like, yes, I am so there. And I sat down to watch it, and I watched like the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes and thought, oh no, this would be a great one to watch with my sister. And then we just didn't. And it's like, oh, and now I'm like, oh, it's over, and I haven't watched it yet. So that's not to say I won't watch it. I have not yet.
Maybe you'll watch it for next year, and if we continue to do these awards, you can use that in your category.
There you go.
Yes.
So I am kind of in the middle of like a hardcore watch a bunch of stuff before the end of the year. So my pick, I could potentially end up watching it before the end of the year, but I'm going to put it down anyways, because it is something that is on my list that I want to watch, but I just don't know if I'll get to it. And that's Mood to Heaven. I know I really want to. I'm really hoping that, like, because I am doing fairly good in my stuff off of my list, that there's a high possibility, but just in case, it is the one that I think that I could potentially not get to out of all the ones that I'm watching. But I'll try. I will try.
Prepare your emotions is all I have to say.
I know. Maybe I'll watch that for Christmas.
No, you can't watch that for Christmas. You can't watch that for Christmas. We're gonna watch Twilight, remember?
I thought that was Christmas Eve.
I thought that was Christmas, yeah.
No, I thought that was Christmas.
Did you have it for Christmas Eve? Or
I did have it for Christmas.
Okay. That's fine. I'm still here.
I still plan on watching this one. I just haven't gotten around to it. And that's Devil Judge.
Okay.
It's got all the elements that I like in a show.
That's true.
Including Ji-sung.
Right.
And what's his face from GOT7?
Yeah. Jin Young. It's been on my list. It's like since before it came out. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this. And then it just like I got distracted and didn't.
Yeah, that's one I want to pick up sometime too. Yeah.
So like I do plan on watching it. It looks incredible. Apparently, from what I've seen on YouTube, people really ship those two fellas together.
I have heard that.
That had nothing
For
to do with my
YouTube.
desire to watch it, but like every once in a while you're on YouTube and then you sort of fall down like a YouTube rabbit hole where I just wanted to like watch the trailer again while I was like doing this because I was trying to decide which one to pick between that and Flower of Evil because I haven't seen either of them and I want to watch both of them. Okay. And for some reason, my YouTube autoplay was on. And then it just started playing like a series of videos that were like these two characters being like the best gay dads ever. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Anyway,
okay.
It's
not how I expected the show to go, but
took a turn. But it looks really good. So we'll see if I probably like it. I like everything. I'm easy to please. What about you, Sky?
I picked My Name.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that like I wanted to watch it once it was complete, and I just
Has your husband watched it yet?
No.
Okay, I think he'll like it, especially since he's been watching those kinds of dramas. I think it'll be a good one for both of you, and I'm pretty sure it's dubbed. It should be. It's a Netflix original.
Yeah.
And a side note, this isn't like on my list, but like anytime anyone mentions Vincenzo, I'm like, I should have finished that when it was airing. Like I know that's a Sky show.
I feel like it is a Sky show.
Because I watched the first episode like right when it came out, and then I got distracted or busy or something, and it just didn't happen. But My Name's the one that like ever since I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, that looks like really interesting. I just never set aside the time to do it. I mean, I even have Taxi Driver I'm still not done with, but dag nabbit, I'm going to watch the last few episodes.
Yeah, finish it.
Our next category, we've got our best web/short form drama. So Sky, we're going to go reverse then back. I think that
sounds good.
This was a tough one to pick, but I think I'm going to have to go with Scripting Your Destiny. I really enjoyed that one. As far as when you watch it on a different platform, you might not even think that it is a necessarily short form, but it was a web drama, like the way it was produced and stuff. So if you're a Goblin fan person, it's definitely worth a watch.
You'll enjoy it.
It feels like a little spin-off universe thing, kind
of. For me, I'm going way back to the beginning of the year. And that is To My Star.
Oh, yeah.
Which I love that. I love that web series. It is so good. It is on Viki. It is in movie form as well. If you'd rather just watch it all edited together as a movie, you can do that. And it's just
it's a good one.
It's so good.
So I picked The Great Shaman Go Do Shim. I'm pretty sure it's a web drama. If not, it's still like under a half an hour for the episode. So it's a short drama. I just thought it was really good. Like it's a really tight little like show, even though it like obviously it's not written for my age group. I just think that it worked really well. I think there's an episode where Sky and I kind of talk a little bit more about it because we both watched it, but it's just it's a solid little show. And I think if you like fantasy and if you want to see what's his face, Nadaram
Yeah.
Namdaram. Yeah.
Namdaram.
And his like lead role.
Yeah, in a
He
lead
did
role.
it. He did it, ladies.
He does. Yeah, like this was the like year for him getting all the like special roles or like lead roles or that sort of thing. But thought it was a really good, tight little show that kind of highlighted like the pressures of school in this kind of fantastical way. And all of the actors in it were younger actors, and I think they did really well with the show. So
I feel like I watched a lot of little short ones, but the one I'm going to go with, I liked a lot of them that I watched, but I'm going to go with Couple of Mirrors, which it doesn't feel short when you're talking about a lot of things, but when you're talking about C-dramas, it's real short. So like,
I think it's technically a web drama.
Yeah,
it was produced for the web.
So I mean, it's great though. Like the quality of it was fantastic. The story was great. Everything was great.
We have an episode on it.
We have a whole episode about it because it was that good. So,
and the show is for free on YouTube.
Exactly. So, nothing's stopping you. And it's short. So there you go.
Perfect. Next one, we have a bit of a fun little category, because this could go in so many different ways depending on who's answering. And it's been a long year. It's been a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So what was a show that like really made your year better? Like really improved your quality of mental health while watching it?
For me, it's definitely Racket Boys. It was it was delightful. It dealt with a couple of darker issues at times, but in general, it was uplifting. It took those dark moments and said, look, this is not the end of the road. This is not, you can make a difference in somebody's life. It's a sports drama, and it's a found family and a small town, all that kind of stuff. But the real core story in it is you can make a difference in somebody else's life and turn their life around because of acts of kindness or whatever that you do. And that just really spoke to me. It was really just enjoyable.
So my pick is kind of on the same line as that. It's a sports drama. It's a healing drama. You should like keep on going. And that's the drama Run On, which came out of like just out of like random. I actually hadn't had it on my list to watch this year, but we did a sports drama episode, and I really wanted to try for a full sports drama before we recorded that episode. So I picked up Run On and then like binged it over 2 days. It's so good. It's healing. It's just like it's a true healing show. The characters are really great. I think they have really great relationships with each other. Just the way that they kind of come together to uplift each other. Like it's not like superficial or like showy in a way. It's kind of more real. Like, hey, yeah, I'm having a bad time too, but at least like we can be together and do like the bare minimum, and still the bare minimum is okay. And I thought the whole entire show was really great.
Nice. Mine's like a little embarrassing. Okay. So I need to preface this by saying only 2 shows have made me excited for the next episode, like chomping at the bit for the next episode. And one of those was Happiness. And while Happiness is incredible, I can't really say that Happiness like improved my overall vibe. Okay. But the show that I picked is still ongoing, and I'm a little ashamed to admit how happy this show makes me. And that is the incredibly over the top ridiculous Young Lady and Gentleman, which is it is a soap opera. Okay, I cannot stress enough that I'm not going to sell you a false bill of goods with this show.
And like, how long has this show been going on? Because how many episodes is it?
Okay, we just finished episode 26 of 50. So I'm gonna be enjoying this, and things are like, woo, we're on a roller coaster. Okay, like this show is a ride. It's got like every element that I want in like a good ridiculous soap opera. It's got like hot widow, like cute kids, like over the top mother-in-laws, like just I don't know. Listen, the show, objectively, I cannot say the show is good. I am not going to lie to you, the listener, and say that this is the best show but there's something about this show that I am excited to watch it every week. Like, I look forward to it, as dumb as it is. I'm like, ooh, I wonder if he's gonna get over his amnesia this week. Like, woohoo! I can't with this show, but I obviously can, because I can't let it go. If you like over the top ridiculousness, it's on Kakwa, or Viki if you pay a lot. But like,
you just gotta get Viki on those sales, man. That's what you gotta do. Catch it on sale.
But let me tell you, there's something bizarrely satisfying, and just like, it makes me feel better about myself as a person while watching it, while at the same time being very ashamed of the fact that I'm watching it. But like, my enjoyment of it is so much more than my shame of being like, why am I obsessed with this show? Anyway, it is so fun. Like, do not need to pay any emotional heed to it. You can just enjoy it because it's dumb. And that's its charm, is how dumb it is. So it bizarrely has made my fall winter so much better, and I can't tell you why. Like,
hey, that's all right.
It just did.
That's cool.
For me, I think I'm gonna have to go with True Beauty, because just the tone of that show, and it's colorful, and
it's cute.
Again, the way it translates a webtoon. Just, I mean, it was all just really well done, and cute music. I mean, it was, and hey, it has my ultimate bias in it. Like, I had a good time. It was fun, especially like the end of last year and the beginning of this year. I had a pretty rough go, so like having that to watch was a good thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't even watching much during that time, but I at least got to finish out True Beauty in February. Like, that was good.
So our next is our favorite every year. Our favorite category every year, and that is, what was your favorite found family of the year? Come on, we know. Sky, tell us. What's your favorite found family?
I don't think I had as many found families in the dramas I watched this year. I'm gonna be real. I don't want to pick Taxi Driver, but I haven't finished that, so I don't think that's legal for me to say.
Legal?
We make the rules. Like,
well,
you know.
I don't know if they stay family. They could like torch everything. I have no idea yet, you know?
Maybe they do. Who knows?
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Who knows?
Not
so,
me.
and I'll even say, so I really enjoyed Slayer Haunted House. I will call it a found family, but it's not necessarily like super heavy in that way. But I think that's the closest vibe to describe their relationships. Like, it's a very loose found family, in my opinion. There are definitely members of the found family that are closer together than others.
Well, hey, that's the same in even
do,
regular families, so don't worry about it.
Overall, like, if you, is there a found family in that? Yes, but it is not necessarily like the thing that sells the show either. Whereas sometimes that's like the thing that sells the show, right?
Yeah,
that's not necessarily the thing that's like, oh, that's the thing that people go for that show. But I did like the way those characters did come together on some level. I did appreciate that.
Agreed.
For me, I'm going back to yet another show that I've mentioned more than once. That would be Vincenzo, the entire apartment complex in Vincenzo. Quintessential found family.
Yeah.
Like,
they like made it a found family. That was their intention.
They literally, tiny spoiler, this isn't even that important of a spoiler. They literally make their own crime family syndicate from their found family. It's like the most found family you can possibly get. And they're just a delight. Yeah. They're fun. Like, you know, the family that fights together dramatically against development stays together, you know? Like,
So for me, I picked, even though this drama, I still count it as 2021, there was only like 1 or 2 weeks in 2021 that was airing, and that's The Uncanny Counter. Their little found family was pretty great with their restaurant. And you can even see like the found family effect in like the very first episode with one of their like former members. Like, you get the immediate draw of them having the found family. And I think they were like super sweet. And then with the girl and the guy and just like everybody like in their own like, you know, they have like various different things that are going on in their life and stuff, and they kind of become this like ragtag team that works really well together. And I just think they're really cute together.
And then they have matching outfits too.
And they have matching outfits. They 100% have matching
They're
outfits.
like right ready for their trip to Disneyland.
Serial
like
killers
all
together.
matchy.
Yeah.
I picked Uncanny Counter also.
Yeah.
That was I was like, it has to be, it was, and I was like, yep, it didn't end until this year, so I'm picking it. So, and yeah, just like Jesse said, that's the foundation of it, right? Is that, you know, poor orphan boy and all of these people who make him family and choose him and draw him in, and how good that is. And like even just the two besties, like he's their family, right? Like they're concerned about him, they worry about him, they, you know, it beyond a level of these are just my classmates, right? And
I really did enjoy those three characters together.
Yeah,
really good.
It was so good. So yeah, and I just, when I thought found family for this year, that was what first thing that popped into my mind. So
nice. Next is another fan favorite. We talk about our favorite product placement of the year. Amanda, what was your favorite product placement? Because sometimes they're so good.
I think I mentioned this previously when I was talking about this drama in a previous episode, but Racket Boys, because they were just fully over the top with it. They were not hiding it. They were not playing pretend. It was like, here, Grandma, you should eat this wonderful food. And Grandma's like, why are you holding it like that? Who are you talking to? And then like every character in the scene would turn and look at the camera, and then they would just go right back into the scene. Like it was goofy. It was ridiculous, but they did a lot of breaking the fourth wall. So it didn't stand out just in the product placement because they did it in other scenes as well. Yeah. I mean, product placement is there and it's obvious. And when they, you know, pretend that it's not, you're like, I see it. Like, come on. So it was just kind of fun.
They're making it funny. They're making it
exactly
funny,
where they're like, we know that you know that we know that, you know, and we're just gonna play it that way. So
for me, my favorite product was from a drama that did what no other drama has ever done, and that is made you believe that the number one computer in Korea was an Apple, and that's Dr. Brain. Because everyone had an Apple on their computers, and I was like, something's
I
off.
see what you're doing here.
Wait
Apple
a
TV
minute.
original Dr. Brain. I see.
I mean, like even when they're in the lab, you can tell that they're apples. I mean, like their cell phones, everything's an apple, and I'm just like,
chef's kiss.
This
Chef's kiss. Listen, they know where their money's coming from.
Hey, yeah, I mean,
true.
For mine, I went with one that was unintentionally hilarious and definitely did the opposite of what the PPL intended it to do. And that would be the instant coffee brand that was advertised on Tale of a Thousand Stars, in which in one scene, they go out and they have this lovely romantic cup of instant coffee. And then in the next scene, the guy who had a heart transplant has a heart attack.
From the coffee? Like, do they say it was from the coffee?
No, it's not from the coffee. It's because
But, like, he shouldn't be drinking coffee having that heart transplant.
Like, he's just been doing a bunch of shit he shouldn't be doing after a heart transplant. But it was just the sequence of events where they go on this lovely date, they share this instant coffee, and then in the next scene, he's just like collapsed on a field, and you're like, the coffee tried to kill him. Which I don't think was the intention of coffee.
Can you imagine the sponsor watching that and being like, oh boy.
that is shot.
I just remember laughing, like the memes that came out of it were like, heart-stopping coffee. It's so strong. Oh, so good.
I'm gonna bring up Cellular Haunted House a lot just because there are a lot of things
That's
that I
fine.
liked in it.
You like it, that's fine.
So in Cellular Haunted House, underwear, PPL.
Mhm.
A side character like got underwear from his girlfriend, and it's like in cans the way it's
Yeah.
packaged, and it's like showing him open it. And he's just so jazzed about this underwear from his like his distant girlfriend or something, and he's talking to his best buddy about it. And he's like, "Here, have one." So, and that's not the one. Like they do that again later on, talking about the underwear. They were all about the underwear. It's just really
They do
funny.
it in Stranger too. He gets it as like a lawyer gift.
A lawyer
else
gift
too. I can't remember what
There's
one,
like
but
a-
there's another one that had the canned
Maybe it was like
underwear.
Touch Your Heart. Was it?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Because I
do
feel like
Mhm.
it was Dongwook, so
Yum.
like yeah,
Yeah.
that seems right.
I do want to have a very small side tangent. I won't go too long on it. So I did have a runner-up of Juri-san. Near the end, for some reason, this random character shows up on the hiking trail and starts giving like a little slender pouch. I assume it's just a supplement of some type that you just like a powder supplement that you just
Mhm.
ingest. It looked like a beauty thing though, but the way it was given and the way the show tone is like kind of mysterious and suspenseful in that moment. And then you keep having scenes where these people are giving this same supplement to all of the Rangers. And it was actually kind of terrifying. Like
But yeah, that sounds
because
terrifying.
we're dealing with a serial killer on the other end of things
Yeah.
who has been giving people things to make them not be around.
Literally poisons people with banana milk.
So like all of a sudden these people seemed pleasant, but they would like get caught doing something illegal and they'd be like, "Oh, here, have this thing, Ranger. You work hard." I'm like, "Are you
Like,
trying to
don't take
poison
it.
all the Rangers?" Come to find out they're all just a part of the same family, the family of a Ranger person. It was just like, but they still kept pushing it, and
Mhm.
it didn't fit into anything anyway. It was very obviously PPL, but also the execution was like super questionable in my opinion. It gave me
That
weird
does-
vibes.
I wonder if like again, kind of like with the coffee, if the sponsor watched it and went, oh no, that's
no.
not
no,
what I was
no,
hoping
no,
for
no.
here.
Like it was clearly like completely unintentional. Like it was not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was not supposed to be what you were gathering.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
I'm not sure that it was intentional this like in Juri-san either, but like contextually it was very
Yeah.
off-putting. Like
Yeah.
it would have been a very obvious PPL anyway, but like it was just really tonally.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I just read somebody Korean who was like talking about how her mother said that the product placement in Jurison ruined it, but the product placement they were talking about was product placement for equipment, for like mountain climbing equipment and gear
No,
and stuff. And I was like,
That's appropriate product
I
placement.
felt like that was
That's
very
literally a
appropriate in
kismet
it. But
of
Yeah, that's
product
what, like,
placement.
where
in
you
her
want.
Korean mother's opinion, that was what ruined the entire show. Was and I was like, the mountain equipment co-op like product placement in the mountain climbing show, that seems
They
pretty
also have
innocuous.
the, like
It's like appropriate.
I don't think it was Mr. Toast, but it was like a brand like Mr. Toast, you know, the like egg sandwiches that they make.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the egg
yeah,
drop.
yeah, they had that
They're always
too.
eating it. In the
Juri-san had a
sea.
lot.
It's like, oh, we're
They had
having a
a lot.
meeting. Here's your egg sandwich. It's like, okay.
You know
It's
what?
almost a little funny 'cause you're like,
Listen,
you're in the
Do-
mountains. Where did
Yeah.
you get delivery from? Who?
Yeah.
You know,
It's
but
like,
also, do you know what's the perfect thing to eat when you're in close quarters with a large group of people? Egg sandwiches. So we have one final drama award, and this was a request from the great people over on our Discord. And it was, what place in a drama would you most want to live?
I think the Witch's Diner.
yeah.
I mean, it was very darkly lit, so maybe you couldn't see like all aspects of it, but it was a pretty cool place. And then there was a really neat basement with a lot of really neat magical items that I think were pretty fun.
The one I picked it was both easy and difficult to pick for me because I watched a drama this year called Monthly Magazine Home, and a large portion of the drama is them just going to these gorgeous homes and like interviewing the people who live there, because that they have like a, you know, they run like a home magazine. Like that's, but anyway, there was one house, because there was one plot line where they're going to interview this woman who built her own house, but she built it like one of those thin, tall houses to fit between two buildings in a tiny parcel of land. This house was sick. And because this house also went against, like, the main dude was like, you should build houses to be like investments to sell. And she's like, no, I built this house to be perfect for me as a person. It had like a sick library, like everything was like vertical. It was so cool. Would live in that house. Would live in, actually, to be honest, I would live in every single house that was on that show. They were all incredible, but that house was cool as hell. Cool as hell house.
I picked the house / business from Sell Your Haunted House, just because I thought it was like really cool and gothic and dark, and I really like that, even though I don't like furniture that's like gothic and dark, because I like my furniture really comfy, and none of that's ever comfy, but just like it's so pretty. And like there was a one point during this whole entire time of not having a job, I was like, maybe I'll just like do some models of like different drama things, and I decided not to, because at the end of the day that would cost money after doing it for a while. But I have like so many pictures of that like specific house business, and I just think it's like really cool and creepy, and yeah, I want a haunted house. I want it.
And in a way it was almost its own character, like not quite its own character, but because it was haunted by a character, you know, there was more importance to it in the drama.
Yeah, for sure. The one that popped right into my mind, it's not technically from a drama, it's from a variety show, but in the variety show New World, they all sort of described their dream home and everything, and then they're, you know, and the moment Park Na-rae walks into her home, I am like, I would live in this house. This is exactly how I would decorate my home. We are clearly soulmates. All the bright colors and the patterns and the...
Would you have the fancy bar that she has?
Does she still? I haven't seen it yet, but does she still have the house where you like come in and it's the kitchen and then the bar, and then like at the very top, I think it's like her third floor, it's the like full like outdoor space?
Yeah, well, like she's got a huge outdoor space, but she like shares with like Sungi is downstairs in the downstairs apartment. And then she's got the upstairs with this like nice big balcony and this big like it is. It's got like a big outdoor space, and it's gorgeous.
Kai's little Mediterranean house speaks to me as a person. It's just like, sure, there's nothing in it, but there's something about it.
There was a lot of neat houses and spaces in that show.
My mind was actually very blown. I was like, either I don't know how they executed all of that. Like it really made me think of, because it is on an island, or it looks like an island anyway. Maybe they somehow visually lie about that, but they sure made it look like it's all on an island. To where I was like, wow, they worked very hard making this happen. Like I was just very impressed.
So that was it for our main drama awards. Now we move on to our music awards. Dun, 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 dun,
if it was a real award show, like a K-pop group would be performing. There would be a performance right now.
Yeah. And we're all like kind of like offbeat, like clapping to them in our fancy garb.
Unless it's like JYP doing a really questionable, like, and then we're all Jackson, like staring in horror.
Great. So to kick off our music awards of the year, what was our, it says best music video, but I feel like it's more, what was our favorite music video this year?
Funny, I should mention Jackson because it's Jackson Wang. Who's Gonna Drive You Home? That video with the trip, it really takes you on a roller coaster. So then that was, there's been a few really great music videos this year, but that one really sticks in my head.
So mine is a song that's currently playing. It's like at the very end of the song, and that's Because from Dreamcatcher. It's just so cool. It's at this like abandoned amusement park. Their whole entire concept was this like summer creepy carnival obsessed person vibe, and it just works so well for that, like that song and just like Dreamcatcher in general, and it's just so good. Like there's this one part where they're in like I don't know what the ride is called, but it's where it's that big circle where you usually like sit at the like very edge of the circle and it spins around and you're essentially there, like you're pressed up against because of the forces. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And so there's like one part where they're like singing in the middle of it and it's like striped paint. It's just so good. If you haven't seen it, you should.
Mine was like a surprise one that literally just came out like a week ago. And that was the Vampiric Delight that was Drink It by the Boys. See, I like the Boys' other stuff too, but there's something really good about this music video.
I will mention about that one. It was put out by that app, Universe. I'm just going to say the way those drop and stuff, often whenever they were released this year, you could only watch like less than 2 minutes of it or something.
Yeah.
And so then the past month or so, they finally released all the music video, the whole thing. And so then it's like, yay, I get to see the whole awesome story that I was wondering this whole time.
Yeah. And it was really good.
So my pick is, and I will say this is recent, but I get a big kick out of this type of music video. So The Real by ATEEZ. It feels like a live action anime take on something.
Yeah.
17 has done one before where it's like, oh, these members are part of this gang and these members. I always get a huge kick out of those type of storylines. So like, I was just very pleased. Also, since they performed it as a stage thing, and then when they made the music video is a much more grand version of it in it. The costuming's great. Like, I just,
as soon as it came out, I was like on Twitter and I was like, it is giving very Road to High Low, you know, that High Low franchise, like it very feels like that. And I had other people were like, that's exactly what I thought. So like, I'm like, I don't know if that was their inspiration or not, but like, if it was, they nailed it.
It's definitely what it felt like.
Very good.
So what was our favorite comeback of the year?
So I'm going to be super predictable, but Astro's one comeback was like super fun. I really enjoyed
it was.
There's an aspect to that song and music video. It feels a little almost second gen. Just, I don't know. Just has.
It's a really good comeback. Like it's really.
It feels like an SM Entertainment music video. I'm not gonna lie.
It does actually.
The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, I need to show my husband, who is the SM Entertainment stand of the household. And sure enough, when he watched, he's like, yeah, I really like that. I was like, I think I can do this.
This is really a tie between two comebacks because they were both sick as hell and they were both from the same person. And that were Sunmi's comebacks this year. One for Tail and one for You Can't Sit With Us.
Wow, Tail was this year? That's crazy.
Yes, it
was. Crazy that
Tail was this
year. Right?
Yeah, just both iconic as hell. Like, listen, while I actually like the song You Can't Sit With Us better, I have to say the actual comeback of Tail was wild. Wild to the fact that they had to alter their performance for network television because it was too much. Too sexy. Too sexy.
I just love that dance move where her leg becomes like a tail. Like,
and all the
behind
dancers' legs are like the other.
So it's like a whole 9 tail. Yeah, it's.
There was a definite Gumiho moment this year.
Yeah.
And then and then there was the whole, seducing her backup dancer on stage as part of like. I can see why it was a bit much for Korean television, but it was not a bit much for my heart because I thought it was great.
So mine is going to be predictable. If you know me, you know that I'm going to say 2PM's Must Come Back. My favorite. It's the first comeback that I've been on like Twitter and part of the actual fandom because I've been a fan, but I was just doing it all by myself. Like it was just, YouTubing it by myself. And so it was the first time that I actually had like people around that were like really excited for it and we're talking about it, and it was fun for that respect, and it was fun to see all the guys again and doing some things, and it was just so good. This year largely was terrible, and the reason I could watch everything is not what I wanted. It did make some of those times where I was like not being able to sleep, but could like sit and watch a live at 3 a.m. and be fine. And I wouldn't have been able to do that with any other year. So even though I don't like what happened, like it was a nice kind of like way to kind of not think about things and just kind of immerse myself in just following the 2 p.m. comeback stuff.
You had the time.
Yeah.
Not that you wanted the time, but you had it.
Yeah.
So
Like,
you
to
got
be
to spend
honest,
it
I would
that
have
way.
much rather not had the
Yeah,
time. But
I would have
since
much
I
rather
did-
like watched everything like delayed and stuff, but since I was here, it was a nice little thing to do while I had it.
For me, I would say it is Key coming back from the military, and
that was a
good
comeback.
I mean, Shiny had their thing too, like, and that's great. Shiny, yay. But for me, it's Key. I love Key's solo stuff. So I love Helium so much. And I love like that whole, all the songs, Bad Love, like it's all good. It is always good. Key is always good. So
well, and then even bonus album packaging for Bad Love.
Oh yeah, the album packaging was great.
Yeah, like that's
he's so like
meticulous.
Yeah, like he does. I mean, I feel like in a sense it should be like DPR Ian should be my pick, but it doesn't feel like, I know we call them comebacks, but like my old lady brain still, like, to me a comeback has to be came back from something, and like DPR Ian, this was his like basically his debut, so like it doesn't feel like a comeback, so he came back, so thank you.
So our next category, what was our favorite new artist and new group?
Lee Mujin. I really, he was a delight. It was a delight to, look deeper into his stuff for this. And a lot of the newer stuff that I got turned on to this year were not new debuts this year. They were people who have been around for a while, and they were new to me, but not new debuts. So as far as new debuts go, I adore the kid, and
for me, it was the girl group Purple Kiss. I know that they had been delayed a while, so they kind of did a pre-release that I really loved, and then they came out with their debut, and I just like equally love them. They're in the same entertainment group as Mamamoo, so they have that kind of thing, but they're also doing a little bit different because a couple of the members are actually producing and writing the songs, and from the very beginning too. And I think that's like an interesting thing that you don't get to see a lot, sadly, with especially female groups and like brand new with their like debut songs. They had like one of the girls at least wrote or produced it. So like I think that's like an interesting take, and they've all got that kind of like jazzy vocal quality that like Mamamoo has. So if you like Mamamoo, I think you'll like them. And they're doing a little bit different with their their comebacks and their like concepts. They're not like following like a true concept, but they're doing a little bit darker, but it's like interesting. It's like they're doing goth, but not really. It's not like you hear that a lot in their like actual songs. Like they did a comeback where they had a zombie song, and the zombie song's really up, like, high and fun and energetic.
And they were like cute zombies.
Yeah, and I think they're a fun group to watch, and I think they're going to continue to be really great. And I've loved everything that I've heard so far, so I'm like happy to see more from them.
For mine, this is a very new debut that I was resisting.
Oh, I know what it is.
I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna, like, I got too many groups that I already like. I don't need another one. But God damn it, JYP put out an emo group, Extraordinary Heroes, and they only have a single song out. Clearly they're new. But that song is so good.
I agree. In terms of like my favorite new boy group, Yeah.
Did not want another group to add to my arsenal, but unfortunately,
here we are.
JYP's Euro division said nah. So yeah, I'm in it now. Like, you got me. Congratulations. What about you, Sky?
For me, it's Billy spelled with 3 L's because they even have meaning behind it. You know how they always have meanings behind that stuff, right?
I love that they've like transformed into not their numbers being in the like number of like syllables or consonants they have instead of an actual number. Like weekly, it's like weekly.
So Billy, the reason I was paying attention to them was because Moon Sua is Moonbin's sister, and she's been working on debuting for a few years, and then she kind of, I think she even changed companies for a bit. I mean, so I've just kind of been aware of that. But Billy's main song, Ring Ring, is just very, very different. It's really fun to watch the oh my gosh, I'm spacing on what it is. The classical music react people.
Oh,
yes.
React to the
K.
React to the K. I couldn't think of like that other. React to the K. All the reactors of that video of them watching Ring X Ring is just really fascinating for them to break down like what on earth is going on in the song, because and it was like blowing their minds. And even before they released the video, Umu, like, she had put out a tweet like, pray for me, because like they all went deep into like the musical theory of everything of this song, and I have to edit it all down. But I really do love the entire album that they did and stuff. So Billy is a good time. And they even already had to come back, just FYI. Snowy Night, I think is what
Snowy
it's called.
Night. Yeah, I was just looking at it.
Winter song.
Yeah.
And they had another member that came back.
Yeah, it's from one of the groups. One of the
one of the competition shows.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't remember what it is. It's a cute song.
Yeah.
And the little
the
artwork,
Yeti's cute in the music video.
The little artwork for it. They do some really cool. That's actually like a really great music video to watch, because they play around with like the aspect ratio and the like actual frame rate of it too. So it's got this like old jittery like home movie, but not. Like it almost kind of feels like the whole, like Rudolph or like the animatronic. Yeah, like where it's like
shot.
stop motion, but it's like them actually there. It's not like a illustrated thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the vibe of the music video a lot. So I really, really do like them. And I think that as far as the backstory of the group and stuff, they say that they just really want to bring like warm feelings to everybody. It's going to be interesting what direction the concepts keep coming with that group. So I'm looking forward to it.
Our next one is, what was our favorite girl group this year? It can be the same answer. It's all good.
I mean, for me, yeah, it's probably Billy. I mean, I've listened to them a lot.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fine. For me, it's as it is every year, twice. They kill it every year. Listen, they're bringing box after box and the fun don't stop. Okay? That's all I gotta say. Twice every year.
I mean, can you guess? Dreamcatcher, of course.
What?
Mystery.
We're also just like mysterious with people and with mysterious answers.
For me, it's Itzy. It again probably should surprise no one. I have my adorable light ring sitting here. It's they're a good time. I enjoy them.
Their one song, the swipe song, is like trending on TikTok. It's so always like Mia Nanane, swipe.
Yeah.
This gets
makes sense. Yeah. We were talking about cowboy concepts, and I was like, I'm sure Itzy had, they just had like cowboy themed music with Wild Wild West, but they didn't have a cowboy comeback this year. But that's all right. They do fun stuff. They had more like a mobster thing going on. It's all good. I like it all. They're adorable and I love them.
Next, we're going to follow it up with, what was your boy group of the year?
ONF. It's ONF. you know, it just is because it is. So, you know, the video for Beautiful Beautiful sort of grabbed my attention, and then it was like, oh, this group, and I've never heard of them before, and Spotify said, you like all of their songs, what are you talking about? And I was like, I do. Okay, I guess I should pay attention. And, you know, deep dive. So now I have military time to look forward to, but that's okay.
That's fine.
It's a catch up.
That's
this is what
fine.
like military is good for. You can catch up on things, watch some of their variety shows or their interviews.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
I mean, 2 p.m. obviously. I mean, what more do you want me to tell you? Obviously.
Like,
Obviously.
mine's kind of a tie because while I want to say 17 because I love everything, we all know it's Stray Kids. We know it's Stray Kids, so I'm just gonna like
well,
say
right.
Stray Kids. And...
So sometimes it becomes what was the one that pounced on you this year too.
That's true.
It was
That's
Stray
true.
Kids. Like, listen, 17 is a long-standing, abiding love of mine. Okay, like I've loved 17 since they debuted. However, Stray Kids. Stray Kids. Whew.
My husband the other day was like, you were talking about Stray Kids yet? He's starting to get into Stray Kids a bit. I'm like, yes, I was talking about them the other day. I figured you would like that.
One of us. Welcome, husband. Welcome.
I always feel like ATs and Stray Kids just exist in the same universe. Like,
Yeah.
they're
I can see that.
concepts a little bit. They just
Listen, like Stray Kids and 17, they're that meme. You know, the one of like the pink and purple house next to like the goth house? That's Stray Kids and 17. They're the same house, different colors. You know what I mean? Like different vibe, same house.
So for me, since I kind of went with who pounced on me this year, we all know that was Pentagon. We did an episode for my birthday of Pentagon. So yes, Pentagon. And of course I had to like get into them when two members were, I mean, one of the members is now out of the military, but now one is in it. So that's fine. That's fine. It's fine.
Now we have best K-Band. What was your K-Band of the year?
So that's just really hard. Like that's an unfair question.
It is, isn't it?
So I just wrote out names and I put or, but like
You're like, and.
Yeah.
So okay, since I'm doing the pounce thing, I'm gonna have to say it was 1 week because I did get in more into 1 week. This year. Though, I mean, that's not to say that I don't love in flying a lot because I do.
True.
I'm not forgetting about in flying.
No one's saying you
We
are.
have enough love in our heart to accept multiple people.
Because
Yes.
the thing about it is, the more love you give, the more you have to give. You know?
Well, and essentially, like when K-pop band music comes out, it's like I want to listen to it all. So usually,
It's
I'm
true.
That's true.
It's true.
digging through that.
It's true. Day 6 subunit, even of Day, had a
Yes.
couple comebacks this year, and I bought all the albums. So
I did too.
from money purchases made alone, I'm gonna have to go with Even of Day.
Even a day is a solid choice. They're doing some really good stuff.
They're good. They're a good choice. They're a good choice.
So we all know my love for Day 6. However, I am going to throw a curveball on this and go with Sky because One We has stolen my heart. Like they started to last year to the point I had them like on my top 25 list of the year. And this year was the year that they solidified my love for them. They're so good. And I think they're underrated in terms of K-bands because they actually do a little bit different than a lot of the other K-bands. And they're solid rock ballad people. Like that's where they shine. Like nobody's doing it as good as them in terms of the like K-pop idol bands. They're just phenomenal and I really like them.
It's also charming that they were a group before they were like in their current company. Like the fact that they, you know, they're a bunch of friends that made a band.
Yeah.
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 For me, I guess technically it's not K-pop band, but it probably rolls more to the indie side. But TRPP, who did basically like half the soundtrack, if not more, for Inspector Coup. I am in love. I love everything. It's all good, and I want to listen to it all the time. So
They're very good.
They are my choice.
What's our favorite solo act this year?
Okay, again, I feel like I should say DPR Ian did the whole episode. But when I go through my top 100 songs of the year kind of thing, Woods is all over the place. It is clearly
Good
my
choice.
heart says Woods. So I mean,
There you go.
as we said before, lots of room in our hearts for everybody.
That's
still
right.
love Ian. He is right up there, and apparently has new music coming out soon, so, or at least planned for the new year, so that'll be exciting. But yeah, Woods shows up a lot, and he had a lot of singles and albums and stuff going on all year long, so it's all good.
For me, it's the soloist Sori. She's, I guess, indie-esque. I actually don't know what her label is, so I don't know if I can say indie because she might be at a major label. But you've heard her like in a bunch of things. She was the female voice in TXT's oh god, what's it called?
Love Song.
And Jay has done some stuff with her and kind of featured her, and she was at the Head in the Clouds. Is that what they called it? The concert with CL and Jay and a lot of the people from 88 Rising. I just think she's so good. She's kind of got this like R&B vibe to her, and she's got a really interesting voice, like the way that she does stuff, and she kind of plays in this kind of like interesting world, especially with her first like couple of songs that came out last year. They're very like unique. I don't even know who to describe it as, but you know, she's got like kind of a unique take to stuff, but she has a lot of good like duets and features on a lot of stuff, but just her solo work is also incredible. And I think she's definitely one to keep on because she's gotten like really popular in this past year. And I think she's going to continue to be, and she's just got a really great voice. And I've liked every single song that she's put out. So she's definitely my favorite.
For me, Jessie, not our Jessie, rapper Jessie,
Jessie
was
with an
killing
I.
it this year. Jessie with an I was killing it this year. I love pretty much every one of her comebacks was really good. And also I've been really enjoying watching her her talk show that she does. It's on YouTube, Showterview with Jessie, but she's been killing it. Like and it looks like she's you know, she's at P Nation now, so she can do, basically seems to be able to do whatever she
I think
wants,
it's the greatest, like one of the best things
Yeah.
that they could have done is P Nation get her, and
Yeah.
I think she's thriving.
And
on it.
Hyuna, yeah.
She's thriving there. I mean,
Yeah.
she just did like she has a collaboration with Ed Sheeran. Like,
Yeah.
What?
It's her and Sunny,
okay,
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so. It's just such a weird, like, okay, all right.
He keeps on popping up here and there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Surprise.
So mine is Astro MJ's Get Set Yo. So MJ has been super busy the past couple years, but very much so this year in particular. He did a lot of musicals. Even just recently finished another turn at a musical, Jack the Ripper. Like, he was a part of Favorite Entertainment and Super 5 last year. So that was a trot group for the listeners that might not remember or know. But MJ is the first Astro member to have a solo debut. But they do have one other unit. They have a duo unit that did debut, but MJ is the first one to do solo. And if you don't know MJ, he's a very, very uplifting, bubbly person. He's the oldest member, and that's kind of how he just tries to always uplift the mood of everybody around him, no matter what he's doing, and no matter if he knows people or not. That's very much what the song is about, and he just had a really, really fun time with it. But then behind the scenes, he would talk about, like, it was really hard for him to do it by himself because he wasn't used to it. He's very used to having a group setting. And so, because he would say stuff like, usually I'd be able to rest while someone else is filming something. I don't get to rest. I have to keep going. And the whole time he's smiling because that's the way he does things. But it was just really cute. And there was a trot singer girl, younger girl, who was also in the music video and performed with him a fair bit. And he had a great time like performing with her, and even behind the scenes, they were just really, really cute together doing stuff. So it was just really fun. And he won a trot show award, and that was
nice.
Yeah,
love to see it.
Yeah, he was really shocked by that. He was really happy.
So, what was our favorite non-K-pop musical something or other this year?
I'm still gonna go with Korean,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna tag back to Lee Moo-jin because we did an episode on him. But he was a joy, and actually, it was nice to also looking into him and kind of looking into that show, and also checking out the other artists for that as well.
Yeah.
But Lee Moo-jin, he's a treat, and even since it's award show time in Korea, like seeing some of his performances of that have been really fun so far.
My pick was Lee Moo-jin. I just think he's great. I don't need to add that much more to it. There's a whole episode about it. So Lee Moo-jin,
go check it out.
Sick as hell. You should listen to that episode.
So for me, it's a fairly new to me act. I think I found them in like October, but they've quickly become my favorite artist, new to me artist of the year. And I'm just like obsessed with them now. And it's the alt rock band called Trap, TRAP.
Nice.
I'm sorry, they're very hard to find because trap is
that's
like a genre, and trap.
Yeah.
There's like other like English named people.
Because you can't even like trap band. No, it gives you.
Yeah, it's really hard. You have to kind of like go through like songs and stuff, or like they're like find the hangul of it and go through it that way. But they're fantastic. I love them so much, and I constantly am playing their album because they just like, I think it was in October or a little before that is when they released their kind of full album, and they've been around for a couple of years, but I don't know how much they've done because I can only judge by like what Spotify gives me, and that's not a judge of a Korean group. That's just like when they decided to go on to Spotify. But if you're into like alt rock, I think you'll love them. Like, it's just so good. I'm so into them. Like, so into them.
For me, I went R&B, Ocean from the Blue. I adore this kid. I love his voice. I love his style. I love everything about him. And he collaborates with like everybody that I love. So like, it's just match made in heaven. I get to listen to everybody, and I enjoy it all. So he's very smooth grooves is very much his thing. And
I agree. I really like him.
He's a delightful little like being. He's on Twitter, and he's not there all the time, but when he is, he pops up with a little smile, and hey, I love you guys. And he calls his fans his little fishes, right? Because he's the
that's cute.
like it's cute. Hey, of course, he said
really
something
cute.
the other day about his little fishes, and there was like like a BTS person right in there, stream tuna fish or whatever that song is with Jen. And I was like, okay. But it was cute. He's just, I adore him. So
our final in the music category. What was our favorite non-Korean musical act or individual this year?
Well, my favorite that I got turned on to this year is Khalil Fong, another R&B artist, Chinese R&B artist. So good. But he hasn't really released any music other than he does OSTs for some like children's animated program, like these little like science-y songs and stuff. And so those are cute, but like they're not really, they're good songs. I'm not saying they're not good, because they're good songs, but
they're not really what you're looking for, probably.
Yeah, like generally speaking, in my mom life, I choose to not listen to children's theme songs.
Educational.
Fair enough.
I got enough of that. I gotta go with Jackson again. He's, yeah, because he's Jackson, and he puts out such good music, and a lot of it. He's been prolific this year.
So for me, it's like, obviously, like, I'm a broken record, and if you've like listened to us in the past and listened to our like what we're listening to episodes, I like talk about Band-Maid a lot. I just think they're incredible. They came out with a full album. I think it was like summertime, maybe. I don't know. Time is meaningless right now. But they're just so good. And I know that they really don't need like a lot of like persuading on people, because they actually have pretty solid fan base and they're pretty popular. But it's an all-female rock group, and they're just out of Japan, and they're fantastic. And if you haven't listened to them yet, and you keep on putting them off, now is your time to listen to them, because they're just so good. And I love
their performances are so entertaining too.
Yeah, and they put up a lot of like, especially the past couple of years, they put up a lot of like live clips, because they go concert fairly often, but because of pandemic they haven't been doing that, so they've been putting clips on stuff, and they've been doing like online concerts a lot. I can never do them because they're too much money, but they're so good. So good.
For me, I was very pleasantly surprised by actor singer Muse Supposit, who decided to just become an indie artist this year. He's kind of a full package though. Talented, beautiful voice, beautiful face, but he has like a real nice indie vibe, and I'm really vibing with it, which apparently a lot of people are, because he managed to get on like the Billboard like top 20 or I don't know how, but he did it. It was just like, you do you, boo boo. Like,
didn't he just come out with another thing with Sam Kim?
Yeah, he did. So he's apparently taking this music career and going with it.
That's awesome.
Kudos to him. I think he also has a PhD. Like, I think he's done it all. Like, sorry, I just
wow, he's busy.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't necessarily listen to them all the time, but when I remember to turn them on, I'm just always just really, really happy to listen to them. Soko Nanaru. You're way better at saying it than I am, Jesse.
I would be, but I have to actually be looking at it.
Soko Naru, rock, and they have a female and a male vocalist. And they also, the female, I think she plays the bass and he plays the guitar. And they shred like crazy, but also their vocals together are just so good. Very good. I pretty much go through phases of like listening to them nonstop for a while, and then I'll get distracted by like a K-pop comeback and stuff, and I'll be like, oh, Soko Naru, like I love them. I need to go. And they released a full album this year, I believe. Something about 7 materials or something. So really, really good. I do encourage people to go check them out. I mean, if you like heavier stuff, it is not it is not rock light. It is on the younger stuff.
So now it is time, ladies. It is time for the grand awards, the Daesangs of the Noona Daesangs, where we say what our drama of the year and our song of the year was.
So the top of the tops, the best of the best.
Top of the top. Best of the best for us personally. Amanda,
are we doing both at the same time? Like,
no, we'll do drama. Should we do song of the year first, then drama of the year, or drama of the year, then song of the year?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Drama of the year, Amanda. What's your top drama?
Navalera. I checked all my boxes. Sports, yep. Made me cry, yep. Beautiful people doing beautiful things, and it was just, and not too many episodes. It told the story it wanted to tell, and then it left. And that I love that in a drama.
That's the key.
No filler. No filler.
Exactly. So
now, Jesse, I feel like you and I might have the same answer.
I feel like we do.
I feel like we probably have the same answer for what our top drama of the year is.
I think that's a drama that really made us happy the whole entire time. That is the drama Happiness. A 10 out of 10 for me. I loved every second of it. There was nothing that misstepped like out of like what I wanted from the drama. I just think it was so good. It was just a solid drama. I loved
disgustingly
everything
good
about it. Like I can't even put into words, especially because I've had like now a whole bottle of soju. Like I can't express how much I love this drama with words. The characters were phenomenal. I think the thriller aspect of it was just out of this world, because it like not only played with the thriller aspect in like how terrible the humans were, but also like the unknown and the zombie parts of it. And I think it just encapsulated what would really happen in these types of things. I loved every second, and I could not wait for the new episodes to come on that drama. It was just phenomenal.
And literally, like, so I was watching it. It's also my favorite drama of the year. Like, to breath. After I'd finish every episode, I would then have to immediately go and like barrage my husband with like, "Guess what happened on the show?" Like, I gotta tell you everything that went on this episode. Like, it's wild, honey. So good. I actually wish that it wasn't on Viki. I wish it was on Netflix so I could convince more people to watch it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That is its only downfall.
Is it like Viki subscription only too?
I don't know about that.
I am
See,
not
that's what I've wondered about it.
It's a TVN, so does that make a difference?
You know, if you could convince somebody to hop over to Viki if they could watch it without getting a subscription, that would be kind of the big question. And I understand there'd be ads and stuff. But.
Yeah, and it was also one of those things that like the perfect amount of episodes. It didn't like try to linger. It didn't try to do that thing where it like sets up for like a second season.
So I just looked it up. It is under Viki standard, but it has a few free episodes to try to entice people in. But
just everything
so
about
good.
it, all of the actors did phenomenally. It just,
I know.
It's definitely one of those shows that I would recommend to a wide variety of people as well. And I'm just saying, you know, because I'm kind of a barometer for like the scaredy cat crew of people. Thriller heavy, yes, you see zombies, but it is not like Kingdom or something. It is not.
Okay.
To me,
I'm still sitting on the fence, but like I want to watch it, but
it does have it. I'm just saying, to me, Sweet Home is like out of my realm.
Oh yeah, no, this is not
in my
Sweet
realm.
Home.
Like,
no, this is not.
Sweet Home is heavier.
I will say that like if you were the type of person who wants to like skip all that stuff, like you would be doing a huge disservice, like to the overall plot.
In the show, the scary stuff ain't the zombies.
It's the humans.
Not the zombies. No.
It's just the humans' ability to be
terrible. Yeah.
Sometimes zombie shows, they don't really go into explaining things much as far as like how and why. It does a very good job laying that out, but in a way that's not like reading a screen. It's very tell as you go, explain as you go, not in a weird pedantic way. Like it's all very well done. It's all very well done. Like it was definitely in the running for my top. So unpredictable. My top is Sell Your Haunted House because it brought me a lot of joy. It just did during that period that it was.
It's on my top list. I agree.
I had, and I am not saying it is not for everybody. It really isn't. It is creepy enough that there are some people that it will not be their jam, and that is totally fine. Because I don't want people to think, oh, it's totally accessible to everybody. No, I wouldn't really necessarily say that.
Yeah.
But I did like the way they handled everything, and I even liked you kind of had the whole like Sunshine character a little. He wasn't totally Sunshine, but he was kind of the jokey type. And she definitely was not. And I even liked that aspect because typically it would be the serious guy and the playful girl.
And they also didn't do that thing where when the like funny things happen, they didn't overtake scenes that shouldn't be happy. It might have like started to be funny, and then there's like the realization of like the turn in the like what's going on, and he immediately turns. And in another drama, they wouldn't do that. They keep up the humor, and I absolutely love that about that show.
There were definitely times like, oh, is this gonna? I would kind of wonder if the humor was gonna extend weird, and it never did. It would stop. It was always very appropriate. And I loved their relationship because it wasn't like, oh, we're boyfriend, girlfriend now. Like, it was just, I appreciated that. They were just...
The fact that they didn't try to cram it in the last couple episodes or something and like make it happen, right? Like, we're going to force this into like a super romantic, like, now we're telling a rom-com. You're like, it stayed consistent and it told the story it wanted to tell. And that was good.
The story of giving each other underwear.
Yeah, you love to see it.
In a can.
You love to see it.
Also, I liked how her character, she would just eat a ton because it would have to, like, she'd spend all of her spiritual energy doing something and she would need to, like, recoup that. But I liked that about her character because it was
relatable.
Just, again,
relatable.
You don't see female characters that ever do, like,
get to eat a lot. Yeah.
Her character and the level of her character was just so good because even how she would interact with people, she would be like borderline rude, but not really rude. It would just be, you don't expect that of a lot of female characters. Female characters aren't often written like her and get away with that for very long or stay consistently that way throughout the entire show. They might be that way in the beginning, but then, oh, they change or something. No, she was her character the entire time. I loved it.
Yep.
Go watch it if you are into that type of thing.
All right, and now this one's slightly more difficult because there's more things to pick from. Song of the year. Song of the year.
I already have a guess for some other people, but everyone already knows mine. Do or Not by Pentagon.
Yeah.
Because
you know,
I mean, that's all I listened to for quite some time. So that was just...
Mine is Love Song by TXT.
Shocker!
Wow.
So good though. Like
it's
a really good song.
So for me, my song of the year is Wonderland by Aimer, who's a Japanese artist. So good. And like the video is like a creepy Alice in Wonderland type vibe to it, but it's darker.
It was a really cool music video.
Aimer does like very sweeping orchestral type, like very emotional stuff, and I just love it.
Me, probably surprising no one. It's Beautiful Beautiful by ONF because that is
great
the song.
Great song.
I mean, it's a great song, but that's definitely a decade from now. If you say what was the song in 2021, I'm gonna say it was Beautiful Beautiful by ONF because it's this year's song for me. So
before we go, why don't we just share a few things that we hope to see in the coming year?
I guess now more Japanese dramas, and it's actually happening. I think I say this every year, but I think it's actually happening.
Yeah.
I mean,
did you? It's the same.
Did you speak it into existence?
I guess so, maybe. Hey, you're welcome, everyone. You're welcome.
I'm going to attempt to speak something into existence that we've been trying to speak into existence for many years, and that is for Viki to change their business model and start paying subbers.
Pay your subbers.
Pay your subbers so I don't have to spend 3 days waiting for subs for the last episode.
The fact that you are expecting people to pay for a service that you are not providing in a timely manner.
Sketchy.
You're owned by Rakuten, you got the money.
Yeah, you have the financial backing. Don't pretend you don't.
And I mean, we watch this stuff on Netflix on, like everybody else is paying their subbers and not charging you a whole heck of a lot more than Viki is. Viki is not cheap, except for when it comes to paying their subbers.
No.
I want to see, I love the Netflix push that we've gotten with lots of Netflix, but when I was going through, like, I realized that like Netflix has a like middle-aged man agenda. Like there are a lot of dramas with hot middle-aged dudes in them, and I'm here for that. I really quite appreciate like Uncanny Counter and Mystic Pop-Up Bar and like there's a lot of dramas with a lot of really attractive, age-appropriate men in it, and I appreciate that. So, like, please continue. I mean, Silent Sea, Gong Yu, like, hello. Like, let's just, even Squid Games, the main characters were men in their 30s and 40s.
That's
like,
true.
you know,
Yeah.
we like this.
I like to,
they don't all have to be 20-year-olds. That's all I'm saying.
I must say, I do appreciate that Netflix and I really have like one alignment of goals, it seems these days, and that is to put Lee Jun in more things. So I would like to see Netflix continue the Lee Junification of its platform.
They need to not lead me on about the Lee Jun thing.
Yeah,
also true.
Don't tell me Lee Jun's in something and I haven't seen him for 2 episodes. Just saying.
Just putting that out there.
Just saying.
Stop toying with your emotions.
I was sold a bill of goods with Lee Jun in awesome suits. I have not seen a suit yet. I desire to see the suits.
And I've seen nary a Lee Jun nor a suit. So.
Right. These are the things that I require. I actually had a really brilliant thing to say and then I totally spaced on it. So I don't remember what it was. If it comes back up, I'll let you know.
Yeah, you can tweet it when it comes back in your brain. Do we have any like personal or podcast goals that we want to accomplish in 2022?
I have a personal one. So this past year, I committed to doing a custom list on my drama list of the dramas that I had watched. And I kept up with it, and that really helped doing this episode this year. I attempted to do that on Spotify monthly, and I failed miserably the past few months.
That's harder. That's harder.
It is harder,
So
especially when there's a
I'm
lot.
Rededicating my life and saying that I need to do that on Spotify this year, so I don't get so lost with my sorting of music this year. Really fell down the tubes, and it's sad when that happens because it's very difficult to reference things at that point.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think for me, I want to continue doing something that I started this year, which was focus more on horror and thrillers and that sort of thing, like other kind of, I don't know, darker genres, especially with my blog, and keep up with that because I really have fun with doing it. And it is like genuinely the genre I personally like watching. And so there are people who are into that sort of thing, but I think a lot of like, especially K-drama people are kind of in because they like the rom-coms, which is like totally fine and acceptable. Like, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I want to keep on talking about like some of those like darker genres, especially because it's just something I really like doing and like sharing. So
for me, I would really like to watch more older dramas just to like fill out like a nice balance between newer and older, which I clearly failed at doing this year. Like, you know how it is. But now with like more and more becoming available, like I swear every week Cocoa adds like 10
that's really true
2012 dramas. Like it's easier than ever.
Even our friends Asian Crush.
Oh, our good friends Asian Crush.
That's true. Asian Crush has been getting a lot of stuff. They're kind of showing up on Viki, but I will say check Asian Crush first because like everybody has been watching what is it, the Absolute Boyfriend, the Japanese original that has been on Asian Crush subbed and upload for like months. So like check Asian Crush first before Viki. I'm just saying, you don't have to wait for the subs.
Yeah, so some Japanese stuff over there. I mean, like
they've got a lot of stuff on Asian Crush. Listen,
comparatively to when we talked about it on our Where to Watch episode, they've like doubled their like catalog, and they have a lot of movies too. So check it out.
Listen, Asian Crush, we talk a lot of smack about Viki, so we are open.
Yeah, if you want us, we will take that.
We can be open between us. You see what I mean? We literally are looking
because we are here and waiting with open arms.
The assumption is that you pay your subbers. Until we are proved otherwise, we are going to say pay your subbers.
I think for me, personal goals, like when I was going through my list of what I watched this year, I realized that I only watched like 1, maybe 2 Taiwanese dramas, and I used to watch a lot more of them, and I like them. So I want to try to keep my eyeballs open and ready and I watched a lot more Japanese this year than I think I have in previous years, and that's a good thing. But I want to get back to watching some Taiwanese stuff because I like those.
Yeah, I think that's like a general thing that I want for the podcast too, a little bit more variety. And I know that's not like actually like a thing that we can always accomplish just because of the nature of like Korean content being the easiest, but always having it at least in the back of my head to attempt and just keep up with that.
And it does feel like Netflix is getting more, like it's had currently airing C-dramas and currently airing Taiwanese and Japanese even. So like it feels like we're moving in the right direction with Netflix, at least.
I agree.
Because I mean, that's always one of the hard things, right? With some of these, we wanted, it's coming out and it's coming out in time for us to talk about it this week on but it's on Viki. And will there be subs in time for us to watch it and podcast about it? Maybe. Who knows? So, but Netflix, you don't have to worry about that. If Netflix says it's coming out on Friday, it will come out on Friday and be fully subbed and be out by like 9 o'clock in the morning or midnight or whatever. But like, it's going to be out.
When you wake up that morning, it's probably going to be there.
Exactly.
I know that like the way I fell into Asian dramas was finding Taiwanese dramas on Netflix. But as far as I could tell at the time, it definitely seemed like that tended towards just rom-coms back then. So if we're getting more like variety of genres within those different countries as well, like that of course was more appeal to. Like and also proving to the typical non-Asian drama watcher that there is a variety of genres. Yes.
Like we had to explain to someone on Twitter that K-drama is not a genre. It is a geological tag.
It doesn't mean that there's only like one kind of thing, or like, and it does like have little bits of like the same things, but that doesn't actually mean that it's like a hard and fast rule.
No.
And it's just
like
speaking Korean.
Like they were trying to explain a makjong essentially, and they were like, "That's K-drama." It's like, no, that's makjong.
No. And then trying to like do something where like it's like Squid Game is not, and I was like, yes, it is. Stop trying to like, take the Korean out of it. It's a Korean show.
By the way, when you are a non-Korean insisting that a Korean thing is not a Korean thing, that's
you
really
look like
really.
A fool. You look like a racist fool.
Maybe stop that.
You look like a dumbass.
I mean, and especially don't talk over top of Koreans. This past week, there's been a lot of stuff going on Twitters and whatnot, and don't as a white North American person talk over top of Korean people in Korea when they tell you Korean things about their country. Like don't tell them they're wrong. Like no, don't do that.
We will continue to try to be our best in the coming year and bring you just fun Asian content. And if you want to listen to all this Asian content, you can go to certifiednoonas.com to get all the links to everything we talk about in every single one of our episodes that we've ever done. It is all on there. You can of course listen to it on anywhere podcasts can be found, but if you want the links, that's where you got to go. We've got a Discord. It's so much fun over there. We have lots of discussions. We are on Twitter, Instagram, all the social medias, but mostly Twitter and Instagram is where you can find us. It's always @CertifiedNoonas. That's how you reach us. And we love hearing from people, and we love hearing what people thought about the episodes and like their opinions on things that we talk about. We love it. We love chatting with all of you. And we especially love our certified fan family, which is the name for the people who personally support our podcast over on Patreon, patreon.com/certifiednoonas, where if you want to, you can go and help support this podcast, help us pay for our hosting and everything. And we think our fan family is the best. They're literally the best people ever. And we do fun things. We have movie nights. We have little extras that get cut out of episodes, and it's all a good time. And anyway, we hope that you are having a fantastic holiday season, whichever holiday that you are celebrating or not. We're not forcing an agenda on anyone. We love all the holidays over here. We hope that you have a fantastic week. Stay safe, and as always, keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Bye.
Bye.
My mom told me not to talk to Trent. Strangers.
So do.
My mom
Strangers.
told me not to talk to strangers, guys. Oh, I take it back. Okay.